wanted to check out the secondary market for Elestrals going on right now. eBay can't be that bad. Yikes. Yeah, so what's up, everybody? We're going to be taking a peek at the eBay secondary market seller stuff for all the prototype cards that have kind of been shipped out from the prototype decks and some various kind of giveaways and promotions. And some of it, makes sense. Expensive, it makes sense. And some of it, I just don't understand. So we're going to take a quick dive into the general eBay listings and just look at what kind of my thoughts are on it and where I think sellers might be kind of ripping people off, where buyers might be getting maybe something reasonable. But in the end, this is, your money. It's your items that you might be selling. Ask, for what you want for it and buy it for what you think is reasonable price. Don't let me sway you, but I do want to put my commentary on here because I think some of it's a little crazy and there's a few interesting things to take a note at and peek at in the sold items and stuff trying to be sold. So let's take a look at kind of the secondary market in eBay right now. And some of it's a little just out there wild. I'll try to keep this without being too ranty. And again, I'm not trying to target people or tell people they're scamming people or not. I just want to say I don't think some of these prices are in line at all with what they probably should be. $300 for a Founder Edition booster box right off the bat. $300 probably kind of high. A lot of people will be selling off their extra boxes, I feel, come once we actually get the Kickstarter product released. 300 is probably a little high for it. I also don't think they're allowed to sell items that they can't guarantee ship within 30 days of purchase. So that's a little bit sketchy there, but the prices, it's okay. But when we get to cards like one single Foley Force for $20, that's a little overpriced in my opinion. 6 cards for $10 a card, basically 6-card set. These are kind of random. Like that might be all the win one cost. That might be worth it to someone. $700 for the blister pack. I think that's an insanely high price. I also know that there's very short amount supply of these cards in the wild because they were very, very limited and only got sent to certain people, friends of Elestrals, people who helped make the game, and some giveaway winners. So it's super short supply. That makes sense. It can run a high price, that's reasonable. A spirit for $15. When we go to the sold items in a second, you're going to see spirits selling at like $30 a piece. I don't know why. When you look at other card games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, the lands, the energy, they're less than like a penny a piece. You can buy them in bulk. A lot of card stores just give those cards away. And that's what our spirits are going to kind of turn into eventually. $15 for one of them, I don't know how this is justifiable by the seller or the buyer. I personally don't. $300 for a sealed Rise from the Ashes promo. Ungraded though. There was a 9.5 gem mint grade that sold of this card, exact same promo, for $275. So I think that's a little bit high in price because maybe if they got it graded, they could push the price up. Some of the single cards I kind of get. Maybe Nog might be worth $20 to you. It's a staple card, early prototype. I kind of get that. My biggest gripe here is those spirits, man. They're ridiculously overpriced. Another thing, Majesty prototype deck. This deck that I have in my hand, someone's selling it for like $200. I personally don't think this is worth $200. I got it for like $20 off of Dan's Whatnot stream. It's maybe 5 to 10 years it's worth that much, but right now I don't see these things being worth as much as some people are asking. I can kind of get behind, card with old stat and text changes. Sure. I find it funny someone selling just the box for $250. Honestly, that's not a terrible deal. But going into the sold items, what I really want to kind of take a peek at, there's some crazy things here. So $200 alternate art Trickle Sky. Whoever sold that, that's what they put their value on it. I don't understand the Nimbug. $75, $132 is one that sold for like $80, I think, as well. This is a card which, in my hand, right? Everybody who bought a prototype deck got this card. So most people who are in Elestrals from the start picked up one of those cards just for free, just for buying some early product. I don't know if it's worth $75 to $130, especially when none of these cards are legal for competitive play going forward into the future. There's the Gem Mint 9.5 Ashes I mentioned. This is kind of crazy, but hey, 9.5 prototype foil. Yeah, you know what? That's worth whatever someone's gonna pay for it, you know. And they paid $300 for it, $275. Three random cards for $25 is kind of random. $5 for one card. $5 for one card, I'm kind of okay with. I think that's way more reasonable. $15 for one spirit. I mentioned spirits in a moment. Let me jump down. $26 for the Zapper after a bid war. I have like 50 of them in my closet of all of these almost. Like $30 for a Vipyro? I this is the same price as the deck it came from. It's baffling to me. I again, like, I feel bad for the buyer. Like the seller, I mean, it's a bid where the seller's gonna sell for what it's gonna sell for. Get your bag, I get that, but it just baffles me some of the prices people are willing to pay. These two cards, you notice they're crossed out. They probably sold for around the same as the Gem Mint Rise from the Ashes, maybe a little bit more because these cards are probably like also on the rare spectrum of cards. Um, but you know they're graded, well graded, high price. I get that. Collectors, maybe this is different in other TCG or maybe it's the same in other TCGs. I don't know, but some of these early speculative prices are insane. This is the big thing. The panda, Halloween panda. My girlfriend got me this for a gift from when TGA sold them, and I bought her one as a gift, and we just happened to both buy each other them. They're, I don't know if this is worth $800. At least maybe not yet. It's such a niche thing. Like Elestrals is still very niche. You know, starter decks for $100 sold, a Nimbug for another $100. Two starter decks sold for we don't know how much. Starter deck sold for we don't know how much. 150 for another Nimbug. Starter decks at 175 a piece. A prototype booster box for $7,500. Okay, okay, game. Like this is insanely rare. Sure, someone paid for it. Maybe it's worth something. It's got hollow foiled plastic. It's pretty cool, but it's it's what it actually sold for we don't know, but asking 7,500 for is a little crazy. A Tech Taurus for 200, not even graded, just authenticated. $300 for a deck. It's just I'm baffled at some of these prices. At $70 for the deck, $34 for the deck. Like that's a little about the price people pay for if they got extra. So where am I coming with all this? So I just kind of wanted to say, like, I know part of the pricing is speculation. Part of the pricing is people who didn't get in on it when they were doing the prototype decks and stuff. But some of the people, like the prices people are charging, just seem mind puzzling to me. And some of you might not even know that eBay has so many listings of Celestial cards already. Um, it's kind of a buyer beware situation. I mostly wanted to make this video to point out, you know, your product's your product. If you have it, sell it for what you think it's worth. And if someone else thinks it's worth that much, they'll buy it from you. But at the same time, the markups on these things, when the game's not even out yet, the speculation on it is just, it puzzles me a bit. Now, I don't know too much about kind of indie TCGs. I mostly play larger card games that have been established for a longer time, so we don't really have, you know, the short span kind of market value to look at least not that I have experience in for other TCGs. I know some TCGs get short prints early on, and that kind of helps. Like prices go higher, fortunately, unfortunately for players. But in the end, these are just purely collectible versions of cards because they're not going to be legal for play in the future. They're just playtest cards or just special promos that are still not legal for the future because nothing will be legal competitively until the Kickstarter. So they're just fun collecting items. And that might make the price go up or down, but I feel like it would make the price be a little bit lower at this stage in Elestral's history because We're pre-launch effectively, and the prices are already like skyrocketing phenomenally high. What happens when we actually open our Kickstarter booster boxes and we want to start playing the game, and people go to eBay and see prototype cards selling for hundreds of dollars, and they pull a foil Nectar of Gods? Is that going to be worth $100? Is it going to be worth $10? Thankfully, a lot of those rune staples are in the starter deck, so you can just buy starter decks for like Nectar of God, Shield of Achilles, and such. But some of the other cards, maybe Volt Tempest, which is seeing a lot of play, Tectorus is seeing a decent amount of play, Viserys is seeing decent play. A lot of those kind of meta decks that are developing as people kind of playtest Kickstarter first edition on like Tabletop Simulator and such. What are those going to be worth when it comes down to actually playing the game? Now, there's going to be a massively increased supply versus the prototype stuff, but it's just, I hope that people don't look at these prototype cards and say, well, my Nectar of the Gods that I got in my prototype deck has to be worth $20 because it's sold for $20 on eBay, when there's going to be a flood of these cards. So that's just my thoughts. I wanted to just kind of show off like the eBay listings. If you really want to get more kind of down to earth, like the high end interesting collectibles, check out the Elestrals Emporium Discord. There's a lot of kind of Elestrals game developers in there selling like no art cards and like super early playtest stuff, or people with some of the promos that are super rare promos they got, or from giveaways and stuff, selling their cards in there. So if you want to see some interesting, cool, more reasonably priced, in my opinion, experience, check out that Discord. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. This is just the eBay chaos I wanted to point out. I thought it was comical and interesting and created a jumping off point for discussion. So I'll see you in the next video. Peace.